It maybe happen that we get visit from heaven again. I am surprised that they're coming through from heaven when I record here. It's nothing I do to make it happen, but that's a way. I understand it because it's a way of that my development, the evolution of my walk under God, that have coming so far in the spirit growing. So I have visitors coming through, and it can be, I never know who is coming. I only know when they give me a picture that I start to understand who it is that visiting me and visiting you also. Most of all, you, because it's often a message for you. And not for me, but I'm learning from the message. Now I am going to talk more about when I was staying with Lowell, the old pastor, over 80 years old pastor, and I know now, I look at the map and I saw it was the small city Franklin in Virginia. It's on the border of between North Carolina and Virginia. It was only a few kilometers from the house, North Carolina, and it's the area. It's when we drive by a place, it's called Sunbeam. So maybe some of you know where I was. They have a house and they have their own street name to the house, Carrington. It's a Lowell Carrington. His son is his son is on the electric manager for Virginia, maybe retired now. And then he had one son that was in Vietnam that get damage in his brain from the war, and then he have a young son that was a police investigator, and the youngest son that was police investigator, he lived at the property. He had a small house on the property because he never walked into his father's house. And then he had one more son that I almost forget. He was a prisoner guard. So two of his sons was with in the police area. His oldest son was the one that was in financial manager in Pentagon for George Bush, and so what is it, 5 sons. And then he have a daughter that lived in Georgia, Alabama, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And she import clothes for a big company there. She was the manager for import clothes from abroad. And they have a big house. One day Lowell wanted to drive there, and he had, as he was disabled, he had a big van that he could lift up his wheelchair up in the car when he had that personality that was old. And he never used it when I was there. He only used the wheelchair once when we were to the hospital. Then I suppose he was his old him in the hospital. And he told me why he had hard with his lung to breathe. He said that to me, that he was in the Korea War. He was in the Navy, and he was hungry and went into the cafeteria to get a sandwich, and then should go on the airplane and go out in war to Korea. And when he come out, he said that he come late for the flight, so he never took the flight. And just when the flight, he was not in the United States, he was in Korea, and at the airport there. And then when the airplane lifted up and he was standing on the ground, the airplane was hit, and the piece of the airplane was going down on the ground and hit him and cut him up where the lungs are. And he said he was laying in a village, very sick, and on the Korea people that was for peace, they took care of him. I don't know if it was true, but at least he had damage in his lungs, and he had to go into his bedroom and lay down in the daytime and get oxygen in his lungs. But that was only when he was in his real personality. The old 80 years old man, he had to go lay down and sleep and get oxygen, and or else he was outside the whole day. And it's weird for people that have never been in this with someone that have different multi-personalities. It's weird. And then one day I was in the wardrobe in my room to take some clothes out there. And when I go into the wardrobe, I step on something a little wet and soft with my foot. and looked down, and there was a black snake, a black living snake. And I call Lowell and say that there is a snake in my room. And it was big. It was at least 1.5 meter. And Lowell come and took a stick and took that snake out. And then he say to me out on in his garden, he said to me that I should take an oxen and an axe and cut and kill that snake. But I am animal lover, so I asked Lowell, is that snake a poison snake? Can he kill us? No, he's not a poison snake, Lowell said. Then I say to him, then let him go, because he's good for the house. He eat up rats and other creeps. I say to Lowell, but then Lowell say to me, no, kill him, because he was in the wrong time, in the wrong place. So kill him. So I have to kill, as I live with Lowell. So, that what he say that in that time, that with the snake, I remember that, because then suddenly every person, I should talk about, I almost forget Atlanta, Georgia. We were going with his black van, and he drove the whole night, and I was so scared that he should be sick, and we should crash the car, the van, but he could manage to come to the whole night and come to Georgia, to Atlanta, to his daughter, and his wife was with his daughter, so he wanted to go and see his wife. He said to me, and it was a huge, a very big house his daughter lived in. It was 6 bathroom in the house, and they were big as my home. Those bathrooms with a sofa, and it's like a small room in the bathroom. And I had hard to find the way in the house because it was so many rooms. It was a 3-floor house, and they have like an office in the ground, and they were only 3 people live there. Lois' daughter and her husband and a son was living there, and this was a 30 room like that in that house. So I couldn't find my way. I have to be in one area that I find my way around there, and that so we were to his wife, and they were asleep together, he and his wife, but they didn't like him to be there. They didn't talk to him so much, so he felt, I think he felt that he was not welcome, so he wanted to go back. But first, he didn't want to show them that he didn't pay me for being a nurse for him. So he gave me $300 and say because his daughter wanted to buy clothes to me, and so he gave me $300 so she could see that I got money, but I never got money from him. But he wanted to show his daughter that he gave me money. And we were out and she was expert in clothes, so she buy me a dress. And that dress, I still have that dress. After 20 years, I still wear that dress because it was so good quality. And it cost, in that time, for 20 years ago, it cost $300, almost what I had got. So it was about $300. So that's, I keep have it. I had that in this summer, that old dress. And people say it looks so beautiful. And it is. And then we drove back to Virginia, to Franklin, outside to the farm. And I got he didn't give me any money, but one day in the beginning when I stayed with Lowell, he go with me to Walmart and bought me a computer so I could be on computer, so I was happy. And he was kind in the beginning, so I was really okay to stay with him. And then suddenly he come and showed me a picture of his dead brother, and it was on a very old photo, and it was almost gone. It was nothing left. It was only some lines on that photo. So I scanned the photo and started to work on it, and it's some gift I have from God, that I can see things. I can write poetry that is not from me, it's from heaven. I get it. It's coming to me. And that's same with the picture. I know. Even if it's only some lines on the paper, I can see who it is. So I make that picture, and Lowell start to cry because he say that it's exactly, that's how my brother look like, he say. So he got that picture. And if you have seen this picture I have done on Jesus Christ with a white beard and white hair and have a blue background, that's how I did that on that computer. I have kept it in 20 years, that picture. I drove that, what I saw in Sweden in the night when Jesus Christ came the first time. He have come many times now. And then I started to show the people around in the village about the picture. And so the people come to me and had all the pictures with them and wanted me to do it better so they could see what's inside the picture. So I got some money by working for people to do those pictures, and I could start to talk, and the old black people. It was only black people. It's strange that God had taken me to black people, not white people. I know today why. It's because the test on people. I should be a real stranger for people, not being a black person together with black people, or a white person be together with white person. With white people, I was lead to go to black churches because they saw me as a stranger. So that's God's test to see what you're doing with a stranger, someone that you don't know at all, not even your own race, not the person that is from your country. That's a real test. God doesn't do half work. He do real work. And that's a real test. So I knew that. I know that today, but I didn't knew that in that time. And then people say to me that those old people that come to the farm, they say to me, you are as low as we were in the 50s, they say. You are lower than us today, they say to me. And they told me about how it was to be segregated in the society, to be a black person in the 50s, how they couldn't go on the same restaurant as the white people, and they couldn't go in the same school as the white people. How that time was, and they say that you are in like us, how we had it in the 50s. So the old people, they like me, of the black people. They really took care of me because they knew how hard I had, because I had no home, I had no country, I had no money, I had nothing. And they could really feel how I felt. And then Lowell go more weird and more evil, and he started to want to have me for himself. So all people was gone. Those friends that come and sit in the kitchen, they never come and sit in the kitchen. His children never knock on the door. I was by myself with Lowell, and then he took away my computer, and he made me start to not. He changed the telephone also, so I couldn't, because my daughter called me sometimes from Sweden, but now he stopped me from getting calls from abroad, from Sweden, and I couldn't call Sweden either. I could only call local telephone. And then one day he had a caravan. He took his caravan and parking the caravan close to my window, so he could see into my bedroom. And it was like something that he wanted to hold control over me, so I didn't do things that he didn't like, especially not take contact with any man. And then one day he should drive to Franklin. He have to drive to Franklin to buy something. So he didn't want me to be by myself. So he said to his son, that was in Vietnam, he said to him that sit outside the house, and he have a rifle laying in his knee, and the girlfriend to his son was sitting out in the garden, and hold the telephone in the hand in case I should run away. I couldn't run away because I was far away in the farm, far away, out from any cities and houses. And those houses that was close to us, that was houses of his relatives. So they didn't help me because they were frightened about Lowell. So there was one other that Brown was his last name, and he was a pastor. He was talking to me, but he didn't want to help me to come to Franklin and to the police. And so I was by myself, and I sit on the floor, and I called the police and told the police that they are sitting outside, and I'm not allowed to go out, and they sit and have a rifle in their hand and weapon in their hand, and going to kill me shoot me if I go out from the house. I said to the police, and they were not taking it serious, and I felt more and more unsecure. I think my life is in threat, because I had some rifles under my bed, and 5-6 rifles laying under the bed. And when I have just called the police, then I suddenly look under the bed, and then I saw those rifles was away. There was no one under the bed. So I have to call the police again and say, it's moving very fast now. I felt it. It's moving very fast, and I'm frightened. I say to them, I'm frightened to be killed, and then I told them that about the snake. They are going to tell you when they have killed me. They are going to say that I was in the wrong time, in the wrong place when they have killed me, and blame me for coming into their home, so they have to kill me. I say it to the police. So they started to feel, when I talked to them, they heard on my voice that I was very frightened. So they say, they look at what police they had, and they say, Lowell, he have a son that is investigator for us in the police station. We tell him to go and get you. And this young boy, he come and help me out, and he told me to don't tell father that I helped you out. He said to me, don't tell him. And so I promised to not say who helped me out. And then he talked to his brother that sit in the garden to let him take me. So I don't know what he was telling his brother, but they took me to a hotel in Franklin, and it was the group called Falcon, domestic violence group for women, and Falcon was a group in Franklin that helped me to could stay at a hotel in Franklin, and I don't know what they were thinking they helped me with. They helped me only to go away from Lowell, but Lowell was close to that hotel, so that was no good place to stay for me. And they didn't ask me if I had anyone that could help me. They assumed that I had family and friends that could come and get me, to help me. They didn't say anything. They asked me nothing. They only asked me. They didn't believe that because Lowell had raped me. He raped me, and they couldn't believe that 80 years old man could rape. But that rape, when people say that, talk about it, they think that it's with violence. Rape is not always violence included. What could I do when he wanted to have sex with me when I couldn't move anywhere? I was many miles out from Franklin. I have nothing to run to when he come, and he was driving out some evenings, and he say, I am going to buy me sex with women in Franklin. He say to me, and I say, how can you do that? You are a pastor. I thought all pastors was holy in that time. I have not had any contact with pastors, so I didn't know. And he say it's like taking off and on your coat. You, as a pastor, you put on a coat as a pastor, and then you take off that coat, and then you can have sex with women. As a pastor, when I have the coat on, I don't have sex. And so easy. He say that so easy, and he was away, and I know now when I'm old by myself that we can have sex as long as we live. If we don't take some medicine and have medical problems. And he have like a machine that blow him up so he be hard, so he could rape me, and it was terrible. But he only did it once, but it was very terrible for me, and so the police asked me, and they didn't believe that an old man could have sex, and they tried to trick me, and they could have tricked me if I have been easy woman to have sex with. I have told them that. And there was a policeman alone with me, and he asked sexual question to me, and I, as I was innocent, I didn't know what it was, because I had a real man in my life. I have not had one night stands. And so I answer honestly. So if I have been a wrong person, then they have know that I was. And then I ran away from Lowell, and I want to tell you that some years after I come home to Sweden, I saw in a newspaper, I wanted to look up if there was something about Lowell in the newspaper, if he had died or like that. And I come to see the news that Lowell had been driving. He was in some personality, and he maybe thought he was white person or something else. He was thinking, I don't know, but he was driving his Cadillac, and then it was a trooper. It's a traffic police have stopped a car, and he was standing outside on the road, on that side of the car, outside of the road, and Lowell come and drove over that trooper, and it was a young trooper, and he had 3 small kids under 6 years old that lost their father because The police could have taken Lowell when I reported him to them, and then have not the trooper been killed. So it says in the newspaper they have taken Lowell in a helicopter to the hospital, and I don't know if he survived or if they find out that he was crazy. But that was the last thing I heard about him. His son have I looked up also for maybe 3 weeks ago. His name is Glenn Carrington, and he is in the federal things. He was also a supervisor for a university also. He is famous person, and so he lives. But Lowell, of course, he must be passed away, as he was 80 for 20 years ago. So I will tell you what's happened more. It's happened very, very much in Franklin. When I was at the hotel, God come one night and talked to me like he was talking to Abraham. He was talking to me exactly the same as he was talking to Abraham. And guess what? Someone is here now. So I don't know what's going to happen now. I only can wait for that visitors to tell me what's going on. He said that he just want to pass by and say something short. He have a long coat. I don't want to mess with you, he say. But I have to say this. It's, I don't know what he say is a hearsay. Like that it sounds like. Hearsay. I don't understand what. Can you show me in picture what is it that you want to tell? It's a car. It's a strange moonshine. He say about moonshine and a car. It's about someone is doing do the moonshine and drive a car. It's a young boy doing that. He's passing by here to put a warning. Someone get the warning here. It's a young boy. He making or buy moonshine, and he drive a car. Smoking also. He say smoking dope. He showed me cigarettes, but I assume that it's not a real normal cigarette. It's a dope. It's a you shouldn't. He said to you that know a little who it is he's talking about. He say you have seen lately that this young man is very fast in his moving. He's irritated and moving around very fast. He can't sit down. He can't sit down like he did before. He show you sign of what he's doing, but you don't realize what he's doing. He's telling me now. I say I only pass by here to tell. That's it's my obligation, he say. It's my obligation to say that. And maybe understand it later on why he says so. Why is it your obligation to say it? He say that's because I'm his father, he say. So he had a father that had passed away, but he's coming through now. So I suppose that he know that you that have this son is going to listen on this podcast and this episode. Yeah. He say that to me. And say that I'm leaving now. He say I only want to pass by to say it. So that's a message. It seems like they're standing in line here to communicate with you that listen to my podcast. So thank you for passing by. So thank you. So thank you for listening. This is nothing I have planned. I have not thinking that it should happen, but now as I have had this visitation in recording on live broadcasting and YouTube and on Facebook, and now in my podcast they are coming. They are so close to me, those from heaven. But they are those that is coming through from heaven. They have been allowed from God to talk to me. I don't talk to angels because I want to do it. It's because God is sending them. So that it can never be evil things, because they have to go through God to come to me. That's we have an agreement, God and I, that everything that is from God is okay to come through, but not from other places. Only going through God. to talk to me. So, thank you for listening. I hope you want to listen more. I will tell you what happened at the hotel next time. Thank you. God bless you.